Begin the seventh letter. It begins with a phrase that we say in prayers in our preparation for communal prayers. We say a prayer every day. Ashreinu matochakenu manoim goraleinu. Fortunate are we. How good is our portion? How pleasant is our lot? So we have two terms over here that we offer thanks to God. A portion and a lot. So we have this idea in other verses in the Torah. Hashem enas chelki v'kaisi. God is my allotment, my portion, my cup. You support my lot. So we need to understand, what does it mean, the concept of our portion in reference to God? What does it mean, our lot, in reference to God? God doesn't have parts, right? It's another common expression that he has no part in the God of Israel. Again, how do we refer to God in parts? He's not divisible. God is, whole, complete, and not a parts that make him a complete whole, but he's indivisible. He is a oneness of God. That's why the idea of three, dividing into three parts or into any other, many parts or many gods, that's idolatry. So, okay, to understand this, we're going to first try to understand something else. And that is in reference to Jacob, Yaakov, our forefather, that he called God, right, in prayer, in calling him Kael, Elokei Israel. Kael, a name of God, the God of Israel. Okay. So what does this mean, referring to God in such a manner? So, let's understand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kishmoi Kinu. God's name, here we're going to, in reference to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, means the Holy One, blessed be He. He's true to His name. So in this name, we have two distinct parts. Kadosh, which means holy. Holy means set apart, distinct, beyond, transcendent. And yet, Baruch, the word blessed, means to draw down, to bring it down. That's what a blessing is, right? If a blessing is in your lucky stars, it doesn't help you. It needs to be drawn down here and to become a reality in this world, in our lives. So this is the paradox over here, is that we have the transcendence of God, Kadosh, holy, and then we have the immanence as it's drawn down. So, God permeates all of the worlds, as the verse says. Do not I, the eye of God, right? God himself, fill the heavens and the earth, my very self, his very being and his essence? In other words, not his glory, not a radiance of him, but him himself fills the world. But nevertheless, the way he fills the world, the essence of God, is in a manner of holy, meaning it's a part. Meaning it's not contained by the world. It's not limited by the world, not defined by the world at all, not not contained, and therefore not affected. By way of analogy, we can understand the soul also fills the body, right? It fills it entirely, head to toe, right? Yet, the soul is affected by the body because it's contained by it. Therefore, it has its limitations. There's change. But not so by God. So he has found in the world, but not contained, limited, transcends it, not affected. For this reason, we don't get our life force from his essence being. It would be too much. We can't contain it. We wouldn't be able to be a recipient of it. Be too much. Be too great. It's like, get closer to the sun. You ain't going to be. You won't be able to contain the right. So what do you need? You need a radiation, like from the sun, that irradiates. We need a diffusion of the life force that comes from the transcendence, holiness of God, that is the eye of God, that is beyond being affected and being totally something that we can embrace. So we need a radiance from the name of God. The name, just like a name of a person, is a radiation of the person. It's not the essence of the person. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make you. Right? So God's name, likewise, it's a mere radiation of him that emanates from him. Yet God, the essence of God, and his name are one, right? And it's transcendent. Now, this radiation that we're talking about, God, that comes from God, right, that vests itself, as opposed to the eye of God, the essence of God, does not vest itself, right? Vesting means it takes the form and the shape, just like the soul takes the kind of, it does take the shape of the body in a physical sense, but it's shaped by the body in a sense, right? Affected by it. Now, the radiation that comes from the name of God, not from the essence of God that's beyond the name, holy, become holy, blessed be he, right? But that level of a godly life force. So again, it's not merely just present, but it actually vests itself in all of creation. How? By contracting, by the fact that the light is contracted and adapts itself to the spiritual capacity of each particular world in which it vests itself and integrates within it. Now, that which is contained by means of being vested within, there's numerous and intense contractions of the divine light of God that it will be able to vest itself in creation. The higher worlds, the vestiture will be less of a contraction. Lower worlds means a greater contraction of the divine light. And that what defines the various worlds based on the contraction of that light, of the name of God that is a radiation that radiates, that vests itself. And again, the higher the world, the lesser the contraction, and therefore more a spiritual nature of that world, more of a sense of the connection that it has to the divine. So what did we explain in this portion, the beginning of the 7th letter? There's the core essence of God that is found here, but not in a manner that is palpable and real for us, because if it was real for us, it would be too much for us. So from that is a contraction of the divine light, the name of God that is contracted into a radiance of the divine name that then gives vitality to all worlds.